Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me on this Friday. Happy weekend to all of you. This will be a very short live, hopefully, because I will be coming back on. That is the plan later with a hot topic for the evening. This live is pertaining to the murder, death of George Floyd. This information is about the officer's trial. It has been postponed until 2022. I will be bringing you information pertaining to Mr. Two-Tail, one of the former officers, Minneapolis officers, who's crying wolf about improprieties that were allegedly exacted during this trial. Some funky business about a threat by one doctor to another. Just some real messy business. And I will bring you that information about those two subject matters pertaining to George Floyd. Thank you all for joining me. The other update will be about the Knoxville teen who was shot in a high school, Austin East Magnet High School on the east side of Knoxville, Tennessee. More shenanigans pertaining to that story. Yes, they have a man arrested who sold the gun to Mr. Thompson. I will be bringing you information pertaining to that as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Linda, Dama Dozen, Teresa Walsh. Got 11 viewing. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. Like I said, I don't plan to stay on long. This is just to bring you said information updates. And then I will come back on and we can get jiggy a little bit later. Thank you all so much for joining me. God bless you. Hope you all are safe and well. Hope you all had a wonderful day. It was a beautiful day here in the high 10. The queen had to get out, get some air. She was feeling some type of way. Yes, she was. She was not feeling the best. But anyway, thank you all so much. Hi, Wesley. How you doing, sweetheart? Oh, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get started so I can get finish this live on up and so I can get ready to do the next one. The first story is by CBS 4 Minnesota News. Trial for 3 ex-MPD officers in George Floyd's death pushed to March 2022. The state trial for 3 former officers charged in George Floyd's death won't happen until March 2022 because the judge wants to wait for the conclusion of the federal case against all 4 former officers. A jury convicted Derek Chauvin of murder last month. The state trial for Two-Tail, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander Queen was supposed to follow in August. All 3 are charged with aiding and abetting, murder, and manslaughter. The penalties in the federal case would be much harsher than those in the state case, up to life in prison. Judge Peter Cahill said because of that, the federal trial should go first. He also said we need distance from all the publicity in the Chauvin case. Legal analyst Joe Tomarino says the defense may have agreed to the postponement because the federal charges could be easier to defend against. In motions, Lane's attorney asked the court for 30 years of police records. Earl Gray is convinced those records were cases where officers intervened to stop colleagues from using excessive force. Tail's attorney, Bob Paul, asked the court for a hearing to determine who leaked a story in February to the New York Times that Chauvin wanted to plead guilty right after Floyd's death, but that the attorney general at the time, Bill Barr, rejected the plea deal. Paul called the leak the most outrageous misconduct I have seen in the course of my career. The back and forth over the leak ended with the representatives of the Attorney General's office and the Hennepin County Attorney's office agreeing staffers would submit affidavits to the judge saying they were not the source of the leak. Okay, and one of the other news sources says Derek Chauvin conviction. Judge allows use of video audio during June 25th sentencing. So June 25th looks like the due date for Derek Chauvin's sentencing for the murder of Mr. George Floyd. If you need verification for the story, you can also log on to WCCO.com. This is by CBS Minnesota, the source. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Crystal, for joining me. God bless all of you. I will now be bringing you another update pertaining to the shenanigans of these, Lord have mercy. These former officers. This is just a conclusion of what I just brought you pertaining to Two-Tail, the Asian cop who has caught himself up in the midst of this aiding and abetting charge. The Hill is the second source of information. Law enforcement officer charged in George Floyd's death alleges witness coercion. An attorney for one of the former Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd alleges that a medical examiner was coerced to change their findings. A lawyer for Tuteo claimed in a court filing that the examiner, Dr. Andrew Baker, was coerced into including neck compression as a factor in Floyd's death. Teo, Thomas Lane, and Jay Quinn will be in court Thursday arguing pretrial motions, which I believe that was yesterday. They are scheduled to begin trial on August 23rd. But as most of you know, what I've just told you, that has been pushed farther into the next year, 2022. They are charged with criminal charges of aiding and abetting, second-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in connection with Floyd's death. Excuse me, screen's jumping.
An attorney for one of the former Minneapolis.
Sorry about that. Okay. Derek Chauvin, the former officer who was seen on widely shared video kneeling on Floyd's neck for around 9 minutes, was convicted of second-degree murder and third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for Floyd's death in late April. A Hennepin County judge ruled Wednesday that there were aggravating factors in Floyd's death, a ruling that could result in a longer sentence for Chauvin. He will be sentenced June 25th, 2021. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner ruled last June that Floyd's death was a homicide, finding in a report that he experienced cardiopulmonary arrest while being restrained by law enforcement. The report specifically said his cause of death was cardiopulmonary arrest implicating law enforcement subdued strength and neck compression, quotation marks. Teo's attorney alleged that Baker originally didn't think that neck compression was a factor in Floyd's death, but he was pressured into including it after speaking with former Washington, D.C. medical examiner, Dr. Roger Mitchell, twice. Mitchell was going to criticize Baker's findings in an op-ed for the Washington Post, the filing alleges, but he didn't after Baker released the report. The filing also targeted Mitchell for criticizing Dr. David Fowler, former medical chief of Maryland, who testified for the defense during Chauvin's trial. Fowler said that Floyd could have died from carbon monoxide or from heart disease coupled with drug use. Mitchell was one of 400 doctors who signed a letter criticizing Fowler's testimony, saying it raises significant concerns for his previous practice and management. The state of Maryland is launching a review of cases handled under Fowler. Prosecutors said in a separate court filing Wednesday that the bizarre allegations offered in support of the motion are false and wrong, and we intend to file a complete response. Baker's office told The Hill it could not comment due to pending litigation. Teo's attorneys previously asked the court to sanction state officials who they accused of leaking to the New York Times and Associated Press as Chauvin last year considered pleading guilty to third-degree murder in an agreement rejected by then Attorney General William Barr, the AP noted. This source is The Hill if you need verification for the story. And last but not least, my third update. This is pertaining to the young man who was shot in the restroom of a high school, Austin East Magna High School here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, mercy. There's more shenanigans with this story. Thank you all for joining me. Channel 9 ABC News is the source for this story. Knoxville man charged with providing gun to student. Officers later killed at high school. The Knox County District Attorney's Office charged a man on Friday with providing a handgun to Anthony Thomas Jr., the 17-year-old student killed in a shooting at a Knoxville high school last month. A release from the U.S. Department of Justice says Knoxville authorities are charging 21-year-old Kelvin Foster with providing a handgun to juveniles. Federal prosecutors are also charging Foster with providing false statements in connection with the purchase of a firearm. Foster's arrest warrant says Thompson went to Harvey's Pistol and Pawn in Knoxville on April 5th and met with Foster. The warrant says Thompson viewed the handguns for sale and left the pawn shop. It says Foster then bought a handgun and met with Thompson later that day. The warrant says Foster admitted to exchanging the pistol for cash and marijuana. A week later, Knoxville police responded to Austin East High School as part of a domestic violence investigation. The warrant says Thompson was carrying the firearm Foster provided him with officers when officers tried to arrest him in a school bathroom. Officers shot Thompson to death during a struggle after they saw his gun. Thompson didn't return fire. During the exchange, an officer was hit by a bullet fired by another officer. Foster's misdemeanor charge of providing a handgun to juveniles could send him to prison as much as 11 months, 29 days. He'll soon appear in a Knox County criminal court. That is the said information by News 9 ABC. Never heard of this place, this channel, but anyway, I commented below because I was just like, what in God's name is going on? Okay, let's get to the gist of this update. Plural updates. Thank you all for joining me. This mess with this he said, she said about a autopsy report from these gentlemen. I'm not even about to go into the names of all the people involved because in the end, there was video surveillance. There was an indictment by the district attorney's office. There was a man who stood trial, Mr. Derek Chauvin. There were eyewitnesses on the street. And once again, there was a video that went viral around the world pertaining to the murder and death of George Floyd. What in the hell are these people talking about? He said, she said. What fool is going to come forward to say they were coerced? Well, let me think about that for just a second. Why you sign it? You weren't in agreement at the time of the findings. You should have said so. And two-tail, you need to sit your tail down somewhere. You coming to the aid of Derek Chauvin? Why does that not shock me? Because you're the same one that stood with your back to Chauvin while he was kneeing George Floyd and acting jiggy and acting like your Shia poo didn't stink on that fateful evening in Minneapolis. Acting like you wanted to buck up to the crowd while your friend, your comrade, killed a man live. And now you want to get up here and still defend this white man for killing a black man in broad daylight in uniform. You'd have lost your damn mind. He said that he was coerced. The doctor said somebody leaked information that George, that Derek was going to take a plea. And, well, he didn't, goofy. Your friend didn't take a plea. How about that? Because he was, what's the word? Is a narcissist, the devil, Satan's spawn, didn't care, don't care. So he went right in that trial and didn't take a plea. How about that? So why the hell are you worried about what the hell somebody allegedly said he was supposed to damn do when he didn't damn do it? He went to trial. He stood trial. He didn't testify. And nor did he take a plea. 12 members said, hell yeah, you're guilty. So what the hell are you crying about? What you should be worried about is yourself, two-tail. You're goofy, dude. You are just as goofy today as you were May 25th, 2020, when you stood with your back to Chauvin while he laid his damn knee in that man's neck. All of you guilty. And then I got a good look at that other one, the tall white cop. Oh, you was just as big as George Floyd. Oh, and I just found out through Court TV. Thank you, Court TV. Last night, yeah, I watched you walked into the main building downtown. You was a big white man walking with your skinny pants on. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, Queen, go call a spade a spade. You walking in that court like you modeling for GQ magazine. I didn't know if I was watching a court proceeding or something off of Vogue. You's a big white dude. And the same one that pulled the gun on George Floyd when you walked up to the vehicle when it was parked across the street as if somebody had just robbed a bank. allegedly passing a $20 bill. Yeah, that's you, white boy. That's you. And then you strutting in court this week like you getting ready to walk down the damn runway. I'm dead. Y'all some fools. You all are foolish today as you were May 25th, 2020. Stop the shenanigans. Stop it. Two-tail, you got to be ashamed of yourself. Derek Chauvin don't give a damn about you, Quinn, or the other dude. Ain't you to realize that? And you sitting up here worrying about what the hell somebody said he allegedly said a damn year ago. Hello, everybody in the chat. The man didn't take a plea. So why the hell are you worrying about what somebody went and said? Hell, ain't none of us heard it till now. Now you got doctors arguing about who coerced who to put something in a file that his neck was compressed. Well, it was. What the hell are you people arguing about? You people are so disrespectful and vile. There is a live video footage of this man last breath, getting out of a car, going into a store, hanging in a store, going outside, hanging in a car, police approaching him, till he was no longer breathing and thrown on a gurney like trash. And you want to sit here and tell me you want to argue about what the hell a doctor said he was coerced? Well, Dodo Bird, you should have stood up for yourself and said, you know what, doctor, sorry, I don't agree. The hell you want to cry about it for now? The hell is wrong with everybody? See, this is what you all need to understand. Derek Chauvin and those 3 officers murdered George Floyd in broad daylight in front of witnesses, which went viral by a cell phone. That's the spoken word. You either like it or love it. Don't like it, don't love it. It's over with. 12 members said yay, and that's the end of it. So worrying about who said what a year ago means nothing, because Derek Chauvin did not take a plea, and nor did he testify on his own behalf. And this funky business about one of the doctors saying he felt was coerced, give me a break. You're a grown-ass man. You know how to speak up for yourself. That's the end of that discussion. Next update. The young man who gave the gun to the kid bought the gun for him. What the hell is wrong with you? You know better. Cash and marijuana. Really? Okay. Well, guess what? Now he's dead. And you probably don't give a damn either. Because lately, that's what's been going on in the world. In the I don't give a damn business. This is atrocious. So I know there will be more shenanigans coming out now that they have this guy arrested for purchasing a gun from a pawn shop and then taking it and doing this exchange with Mr. Thompson for weed and cash. But this is the weird part of this story. Well, maybe not weird, but the interesting part. Who told it? Who told that he sold the gun to Mr. Thompson? I'll wait. Somebody from the pawn shop? Just put 2 and 2 together? Did Anthony tell somebody before death that he bought the gun from this guy? And as you see, the penalty for him selling the gun to this minor is $11.29 chump change. He can eat Twinkies for a year and not blink. Oh, Lordy. There have been several deaths pertaining to children from Austin East High School, all Black. Some of it has been deemed gang-related. I don't know what's going on with these young children, with their wayward attitudes and this, as I say, wannabe badass mentality. You all are basically shoveling your own dirt to your own grave. Why, I do not know. Why you cannot just go to that schoolhouse and sit your tail in there and suck up all the free information you can get and try to excel your way out of there by crossing the stage and graduating so you can go on to do something useful, purposeful, vainglorious with your life. Because this ain't it right here. 17 years old died in a bathroom. Now, a 20-something-year-old may face time in jail for selling a damn gun to the 17-year-old. People jumping in, wanting to set porches on fire because of this death of a 17-year-old. Girlfriend posting crazy stuff on Facebook because of the death of a 17-year-old. She and her mother having to fear for their safety because of the death of a 17-year-old who allegedly put his hands on this same female. And now she's gaga goo-goo in mourning over this dead boy. You see, big wheels keep on turning. The madness doesn't stop, even after death. There's always somebody that picks up the slack and keeps the BS going. Thank you all for joining me. This is just sickening. These young people dying in the street, ending up in hospitals, comatose, comas, paralyzed for BS, because everybody wants to be bad. Everybody wants to be affiliated. You don't even know what a gang is. Let me go there before I check out of here. You young people here, I'm going to say this to you because the queen has lived. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're worrying about being seen and heard in the world on some BS. Because when you catch a charge for murder, attempted murder, who you ride with ain't gonna mean a damn thing. Because you see, if you get time in prison, if you're caught, those same people who you wanted to ride or die with for will be nowhere. They'll be nowhere to be found. They will not write you, call you, visit you. They will not put money on your books. They won't think about you. So you would have killed a life for what reason? Plural. Because somebody said, yo, that cat did something to me, said something to me. He did something to my cousin, my brother, my mama, my sister, my cousin, my homeboy, my neighborhood. What the hell ever? Hey, wannabe gangbangers. Hey, so-called gangbangers. You don't pay no taxes no damn why. So you ain't got no property. And you don't own no sidewalk. Steps, stoop, corner, block, corner store. Did I make myself clear? Yeah, that part. You don't own anything. You don't run anything. You just banging on clout. And in the end, it won't mean anything when you're facing 20 to life in prison. It won't mean anything. Do yourself a favor, young people. Go to school and get yourself an education and get yourself into somebody's university, college, or acquire you a trade so you can make something out of your life, so you can live happily ever after, like the TV shows. Because it happens. It has happened to many people. There are people out here who are living the American dream. They work, they go to school, they have families, they mate, they procreate, they live. And they don't have time for foolishness, such as gang banging, breaking the law, in and out of jail, prison, mental hospitals, treatment centers, rehab. The list goes on and on. That's a wasted life. Life is too short for that. Those shenanigans. You should want more for yourself. We all human, flawed, make mistakes, but there comes a time when one must wake up and realize that is not a life. In and out of jail, prisons, treatment centers. Grow up. I know there'll be more shenanigans pertaining to this story with this young boy. I knew it when I heard that some idiot, foul-mouthed goat set her porch on fire, the mother of the girlfriend. I said, oh, I see what's going on here. Now other people want to get involved in the death of this young boy in the bathroom, but they don't seem to realize he took the gun to the schoolhouse. He allegedly beat the girl up, which led to her going home, leaving school early, which led to her telling her mother what happened, which led to the mother calling his phone, telling him, going off on him, which led her to call his mom, and the mama never answered, which led her to call the police. Damn, what I miss? One thing begets another. Now we find out a 20-something-year-old bought the damn gun for cash and weed. I'm dead. One down. How many more to go? Roll the dice. It's sickening. This is sickening. It's time for a change. It's time for young people to grow up. Black, white, Asian, whatever your nationality is. It's time for you to grow up and realize there is a better way of handling your anger. There's a better way of trying to fit in. There's a better way of trying to belong. There's a better way of manifesting yourself. Because trying to ride or die with people who don't give a damn about you is not the way. It has never been the way. And you're going to end up hurt in a cemetery. And if not the cemetery, you're going to end up in prison. Those are my set updates pertaining to the death of George Floyd. Two Tails attorney is claiming coercion by some doctors. Oh, Lord of mercy, just nonsense. The trial of all three ex-officers will be put off until 2022 because the judge wants this first trial. Lord of mercy. To go forward because there are other charges that they violated Mr. Floyd's civil rights. So those are more charges added on besides the aiding and abetting Derek Chauvin on May 25th, 2020 in the murder, yes, the murder of George Floyd. I want to thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, please donate by Cash App, $ Big Angie 129. All super chats are welcome during the lives. I appreciate your support, new subscribers, old subscribers, people just dropping in to listen to what the Queen has to say. I will go live later with a juicy topic pertaining to reality TV. I'll kind of lighten the mood a little bit, but in the end, it's not really too light because it's shenanigans and buffoonery. And I put a post up earlier pertaining to what I will be discussing in this live tonight, pertaining to reality TV, the things that go bump in the night, and the things that finally come out of the closet when folks decide they want to tell all their damn business. That is what I will be discussing tonight. The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia will be the topic tonight, with one of the co-stars dating one of the other guest stars' ex-husband. Somebody hand me a drink. Mercy. Only in America. I want to thank you all for joining me. Yes, Aquarius, they are all guilty. As Derek Chauvin, indeed, they are. I hope you all are well. I hope everyone is safe. It was a beautiful day here in the high 10, a gorgeous day. And I just want to thank you all for your support. I will come back on a little bit later with a crazy scenario pertaining to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia. And then I will extend that into a hypothetical question. And I'd like you all to join me live to give me your commentary on the allegations pertaining to Portia and her new love. And do you think they were messing around while he was married? And hypothetically, do you think it is a good idea for women who have met each other whether brief or not, were around each other, brief or not, engaged in a relationship. Thereafter, the woman and man have divorced and or while going through a divorce and or separation. Because I don't know all the details pertaining to this woman's relationship and her husband, but I will dig a little deeper before I go live so I can bring the tea. And that will be the discussion tonight. Dating someone you know, their ex-spouse. That will be the topic for discussion this evening. How you doing? Yes. Crystal says triple negative. That's messy. Yeah, that's very messy. That's hot butter messy. Look, that's scrimp. That is scrimp. Crawfish, crab leg, hot butter messy. Yes, it is. Thank you all for joining me. Thank the two mods on board. Please join me a little bit later. I will be bringing you commentary pertaining to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia, the latest buffoonery pertaining to one of the castmates. And also it will be spun into a hypothetical pertaining to dating someone's ex-spouse and you have known the said person and hung around the said person. Do you think it is right? Or is it nobody's business who a person dates? That would be the question for this evening. Thank you all for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below on the community post. Thank you. And if you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129, and I'll super chat to welcome during the live. Thank the mods. You all, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the short live. I will be back a little bit later with the hot sipping tea. So bring your helmet, your wine, your popcorn. Lord have mercy. It should be a doozy. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I'm out of here.